Across America, millions of acres of farmland shake under the force of wild hogs. They move in massive herds, striking without warning, tearing through crops, wrecking irrigation systems, and leaving fields stripped bare. But in some places, that nightmare has stopped. Not with fences, traps, or poison, but with trenches. No high-tech gear, no fancy machines. Just dirt, shovels, and human ingenuity. And the unbelievable part? It actually works. It started in South Texas, where electric fences were torn apart, traps smashed, and poison outlawed to protect livestock and waterways. Farmers were running out of options as wild hogs destroyed acres of corn and peanut fields night after night. That's when a new idea took shape, not from labs or machines, but from desperation and grit. If we can't drive them away, then let's make sure they can't get in. Soon, excavators rolled across the fields, cutting trenches 3 to 5 feet deep and over 3 feet wide around vulnerable crops. No wires, no fences, no chemicals, just soil, sweat, and determination. The principle behind the defensive trench is almost disarmingly simple. When a herd of wild hogs approaches a cultivated field, they're met with a steep-sided ditch cut deep into the earth, an unexpected barrier standing between them and the crops. The trench, typically 4 feet deep and about 3 to 4 feet wide, creates a sheer drop that stops the animals cold. They can't jump it. They can't climb it. And if they try, they slide straight down and find no way out. According to data from the USDA AFHIS in 2021, trenches as shallow as 4 feet reduced hog crossings by nearly 90%. A 2020 study from the University of Georgia confirmed that during a 3-month trial, not a single wild hog was able to escape a trench with a slope steeper than 60 degrees. What appears to be nothing more than a wall of dirt turns into a silent 24-hour sentry, one that requires no power, no maintenance, and no trigger. It's not violence that stops them. It's gravity, physics, and a bit of clever engineering. A simple barrier, shaped by human hands, turning nature's own forces against one of its most destructive invaders. What makes this method stand out is how consistent and low maintenance it is. Once the trench is in place, it keeps working on its own. It doesn't rely on power, electronics, or constant attention. Rain, wind, and time have little effect on it as long as it's properly built. Unlike electric fences that can short out, or steel barriers that bend and rust, a dirt trench remains firm and effective. It doesn't make noise, release odors, or disturb other animals in the area. Farmers who have installed trenches report that they work non-stop, day and night, week after week, without needing to be reset or repaired. In East Texas, several farms that dug trenches running more than 3 miles around their crops saw hog damage drop by nearly 85% within the first year. The soil stayed intact, irrigation systems remained undisturbed, and harvest losses nearly disappeared. The trench simply works. Steady, reliable, and cost-efficient over time. No expensive equipment, no fuel, no maintenance crews. Just a one-time effort that creates a permanent barrier between farmland and destruction. For many farmers, it's the first solution that actually keeps working after the lights go out. Of course, nothing this effective comes without a price. Digging a trench that runs for miles requires heavy equipment, skilled operators, fuel, and time. According to data from Texas A&M AgriLife 2022, the cost averages between $2 and $3 per meter, depending on the soil type and terrain. For a farm with a 6-mile perimeter, roughly 10 kilometers, the total expense can easily exceed $60,000. That's a major investment for small and mid-sized farms. And maintenance brings its own challenges. In areas with heavy rainfall, the walls can erode or collapse, and standing water can create hazards or breeding grounds for insects. Without proper drainage, culverts, and warning markers, a trench meant to stop wild hogs can become a danger to people and machinery. There have been cases where tractors and trucks accidentally slipped into the ditch, forcing farmers to build small bridges or reinforced crossings. Still, when properly maintained, a well-built trench can last more than a decade, far outliving most electric fences, which usually fail within 3 to 5 years. For those who can shoulder the initial cost, it's a one-time investment that trades sweat and steel for peace and permanence. A 2023 study from Florida IFAS revealed a clear comparison between the most common hog control methods. Earthen trenches come with higher upfront costs, but require virtually zero daily maintenance, maintaining an impressive 90% effectiveness rate year-round. Electric fences, by contrast, are cheaper to install but entirely dependent on power when the current fails. So does the defense. Smart traps offer short-term results, catching a few animals at a time, but they require constant resetting and monitoring. The most effective approach, researchers found, is combining both worlds. A dirt trench at the base with a steel fence along the rim. Together, they create a near impenetrable barrier, blocking an estimated 97% of hog intrusions, the highest success rate ever recorded in the U.S. And unlike lethal control methods, this approach doesn't kill or harm the animals. It simply keeps them out, humanely, quietly, and without disturbing the balance of the ecosystem. Across the country, millions are still spent each year hunting wild hogs. Yet in quiet corners of rural America, farmers have chosen a different path. They dig, not to attack, but to defend. Not with rifles or traps, but with determination and the wisdom of hard-earned experience. A solution so simple, it feels impossible, yet so effective, it's forcing scientists to take notice. Like, share, and subscribe to join the effort and follow the fight with us.